Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Peace be upon you, dear friends. The mosque is the purest and most sacred place where a human being connects directly with the creator of the universe. It is not merely a building of stone and marble, it is a sanctuary of the soul, where every heartbeat whispers the name of Allah. Inside these blessed walls, a believer becomes truthful before his Lord. He pours out his pain, confesses his weakness, and places his hopes in the one who never abandons his servants. 5 times a day, the doors of mercy open, and the Lord listens to those who bow down before him in sincerity and love. When a person enters the mosque, he leaves behind the noise of the world, its worries, its wealth, its pride, and stands equal with others before God. In that moment, there is no difference between king and beggar, young and old. The mosque unites hearts in humility and light. Every prayer, every whisper, every tear shed on its carpet becomes a testimony of faith that reaches the heavens. Throughout centuries, Muslims have loved their mosques more than any worldly possession. These sacred places are not just centers of worship, but symbols of unity, learning, and compassion. They remind humanity that true peace lies in remembrance of the Creator. And just as every person has a story, many ancient mosques too hold untold stories within their walls. Stories of devotion, miracles, and sometimes mystery. In recent times, one such story emerged from India, where a 1,000-year-old mosque was reopened after centuries of silence. What was discovered beneath it shook the hearts of many. From its underground chambers, human remains and mysterious relics were found, raising questions about the hidden history buried beneath that sacred ground. Was it a forgotten graveyard, a royal dungeon, or something beyond human understanding? The incident awakened deep reflection, reminding us that time hides countless secrets under the surface of faith. The mosque, after all, is not only a place for prayer, but also a witness to the passage of civilizations, the rise and fall of empires, and the everlasting dialogue between man and his Lord. Let us journey deeper into the story of the mosque, not just as a place of worship, but as a living heart of faith and civilization. The word mosque originates from the Arabic term masjid, which comes from sajada, meaning to prostrate. When a believer lowers his forehead to the ground, he declares before the Creator, "You alone are the greatest, and I'm your humble servant." This act of submission, known as sujud, is the essence of Islam, and the mosque is the sacred space where it happens. From the earliest days of Islam, the mosque has been more than a prayer hall. It has been a center of community, learning, justice, and compassion. During the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, the first mosque in Medina served as a school, a court, and a gathering place where people discussed both faith and life. It was where hearts were guided and nations were shaped. The light that began there spread to every corner of the world, carried by people who built mosques not merely of bricks, but of belief. Cleanliness and purity are essential before entering a mosque. It is commanded that one performs ablution, washing the hands, face, and feet as a sign of physical and spiritual cleansing. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said that whoever enters the mosque and waits for prayer is under the shade of divine mercy. The one who sits silently in remembrance is counted among those who are in constant worship. Even the 2 small units of prayer offered upon entering are considered a greeting to the house of Allah. Across centuries, mosques have stood as the most magnificent landmarks of Muslim civilization. Some hold rare manuscripts of the Quran, garments of saints, and relics preserved with reverence. In cities like Lahore, Istanbul, and Cairo, old mosques also contain small museums displaying ancient prayer beads, handwritten scrolls, and fragments of history that carry the fragrance of faith. These sacred treasures remind believers of those who prayed before them, scholars, mystics, and martyrs, all united by one call, Allahu Akbar. Thus, the mosque remains an eternal symbol of submission, beauty, and continuity, a bridge between earth and heaven, body and soul, the human and the divine. As we move further into the world of sacred history, we find that many old mosques are surrounded by tales that bridge the seen and unseen. These stories are whispered through generations, carried by the faithful who believe that the walls of these mosques have absorbed centuries of prayer, light, and mystery. One such story tells of a 600-year-old mosque that remained closed for centuries. When it was reopened, and the call to prayer echoed again after so long, something astonishing occurred as the muezzin raised his voice for the adhan. A faint yet powerful answer came back, as though the walls themselves replied to the call of Allah. The people who were present trembled, unable to explain what they had heard. Some scholars later said that perhaps unseen beings, the jinn, had long resided within the mosque, worshipping in silence. When they heard the call to prayer after hundreds of years, they responded as true believers do, repeating the sacred words that glorify the Creator. This incident became known as the answering echo, and it is still spoken of as a sign that even the unseen creations of Allah find peace in the remembrance of His name. Throughout Islamic history, there have been many such accounts. The Moti Masjid of Lahore, for example, is believed by some locals to be visited by unseen worshippers at night. People claim to hear the soft rustle of robes and the rhythm of prayer long after the doors are closed. Whether one believes such tales or not, they reveal how deeply the mosque is connected not only to the living, but also to the unseen world. Every ancient mosque carries a fragrance of forgotten time, the footsteps of saints, the breath of scholars, and the echoes of believers who bowed in devotion. Some have witnessed the fall of empires, others the rise of new nations, yet through all changes, the sound of Allahu Akbar never ceased. These sacred spaces remind us that faith is timeless, and that even when human voices fade, the spirit of worship continues to resonate through the stones and air like a divine echo that never dies. Among the countless mosques that adorn the land of India, there stands one ancient structure whose story still sends shivers down the spine. This mosque, believed to be nearly 1,000 years old, had long been closed, its doors sealed by dust and silence. When restoration work finally began, no one imagined that beneath its sacred floor lay a mystery older than memory itself. During the process of cleaning and renovation, workers discovered traces of a hidden chamber beneath the mosque. When they carefully broke through the stone walls, what they found stunned everyone present. The narrow passage led to a dark underground hall filled with air thick from centuries of stillness. As lights were lowered into the chamber, shapes began to appear. Bones, skulls, and remnants of what once were human bodies. More than 100 skeletons were scattered across the floor, preserved in eerie silence. Shock and fear spread among the people. Some believed they had uncovered the remains of martyrs. Others whispered that it might have been a prison, sealed and forgotten through the ages. Soon, experts and local historians arrived to investigate. Samples of the bones were taken, and their age was estimated to be several centuries old. One theory suggested that this underground hall was once a royal dungeon. Built during the reign of an ancient ruler, prisoners may have been locked there, left without light or air, meeting a tragic end in complete obscurity. Later, when the site was abandoned, time erased its memory, and a mosque was built above it, perhaps unknowingly. Turning a place of human suffering into one of prayer and peace, the revelation stirred deep emotions. People realized that for generations, worshippers had been offering prayers right above those forgotten souls. The thought brought both awe and sorrow, a sense of divine mystery that connects life, death, and faith. How strange it is, dear friends, that the same ground can hold both tears of the past and prayers of the present. The story reminded everyone that beneath the earth lie countless truths hidden from the eyes of men, but never from the knowledge of Allah, the all-knowing and the just. Even after deep investigation, the mystery beneath that ancient mosque remains unresolved. Some historians insist that the bones belonged to prisoners from a forgotten era, while others believe they were remnants of an ancient burial ground mistakenly built over a few. Even whisper that it was a place of secret punishment during the rule of a cruel king, sealed away to erase the traces of injustice. Yet no theory can answer every question. The truth lies buried, known only to Allah, the one who witnesses all that the earth hides within her depths. This discovery became more than just a tale of bones and stones. It turned into a reflection of how faith and history intertwine in the most unexpected ways. For centuries, people had bowed in prayer above that hidden chamber, their voices rising in remembrance of the Almighty, while beneath them rested the silent remains of those who once lived, hoped, and suffered. The thought is humbling, a reminder that the soil beneath our feet holds countless stories, both of devotion and of despair. Many elders who visited the site said that perhaps it was not a coincidence. Maybe those souls were given peace through the prayers that echoed above them for hundreds of years. Perhaps Allah, in His infinite wisdom, traveled